Hello and welcome to the Certified Ethical Hacker Study Guide. In this video, we will discuss Chapter 12.3, Understanding Public Key Infrastructure. So, a discussion of public key encryption just can't take place without mentioning public key infrastructure, or PKI. PKI is not an algorithm. It's a structure made up of programs, protocols, and security policies for encrypting data, and it uses public key cryptography to protect data transmitted over the internet. The topic of PKI can honestly take up an entire book, so in this section we're just going to give you an overview of its major components and how PKI is used in creating certificates. Oh, and please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Components of PKI. Another way authentication can take place over a communication channel is with certificates. A certificate is a digital document verifying that the two parties exchanging data over the internet are really who they claim to be. Each certificate contains a unique serial number and must follow the X.509 standard that describes creating a certificate. SSL and SMIME, for example, are internet standards that use X.509 certificates. Public keys are issued by a certification authority, CA. The CA vouches for the company you send your credit card number to when ordering that Harley-Davidson motorcycle online. You probably want to know that the company you're ordering the bike from is valid, not someone who started a bogus website to collect credit card numbers from unsuspecting victims. Think of a CA as a passport agency. When U.S. citizens show their passports to enter a foreign country, the customs agents viewing the passport don't necessarily trust the passport holders. They do, however, trust the passport agency that issued the passports, so the U.S. citizens are allowed to enter the country. A certificate that a trusted CA issues binds a public key to the identity of the organization or individual that purchased it. In this way, if you encrypt an email message with the public key of your friend Ye Jun, you know only she can decrypt the message with her private key that's mathematically related to her public key. You also know that the public key you used is indeed Ye Jun's public key because you trust the CA that issued it. Expiring, revoking, and suspending certificates. A certificate issued by a CA is assigned a period of validity, and after that date, the certificate expires. If the keys are still valid and remain uncompromised, the certificate can be renewed with a new expiration date assigned. At times, a certificate might need to be suspended or revoked before its expiration date, as in the following circumstances. A user leaves the company. A hardware crash causes a key to be lost. A private key is compromised. The company that was issued the certificate no longer exists. The company supplied false information when requesting the certificate. The CA compiles a certificate revocation list, CRL, containing all revoked and suspended certificates. A certificate might be suspended when parties fail to honor agreements set forth when the certificate was issued. Instead of the certificate being revoked, it can be suspended so that it's easier to restore if the parties come to an agreement later. If you want to check whether a certificate is still valid, you can download the CRL from the URL specified in the certificate. For CAs that might have a lot of revoked certificates, you can use Online Certificate Status Protocol, OCSP, instead of downloading the CRL. With OCSP, you, or a device, can check a certificate's status without having to download and examine the entire CRL. HTTP Strict Transport Security, or HSTS, was created back in 2012 as a mechanism for web servers to tell clients they require secure communications. HSTS does two things to promote secure client-server communications. First, it forces all traffic between a web browser and a web server to be sent over a secure channel. This is accomplished through a field sent in the header of each web server response, which requires the browser to force HTTPS on all traffic sent to that web server. Figure 12.3 shows the HSTS information stored in a Chrome browser for Facebook.com. Second, if the browser cannot validate the web server's certificate, the browser disallows access to the website. While HSTS is not foolproof and attackers could strip the HSTS field from the web server's initial response, it is an important part of a defense-in-depth approach to web security. Backing up keys is just as important as backing up data. If keys are destroyed and not backed up correctly, encrypted business-critical information might be irretrievable. Companies typically back up their keys and store them offline in a safe or vault. A chain of custody record for keys is often required for companies that process sensitive information or financial transactions. Microsoft includes features in its server operating systems for configuring a server as a certificate authority instead of using a third-party CA. For example, using the Add Roles and Features wizard in Windows Server 2019, you as an administrator can select Active Directory Certificate Services, as shown in Figure 12-4. After clicking Next, you can select any features you want to install, including Certificate Authority Management tools. After the server role is installed, you need to configure the CA services by selecting Role Services, as shown in Figure 12-5. The Certification Authority role is used to issue and manage digital certificates. Next, you specify the CA type. You can choose an enterprise or a standalone CA as the general type, and then select root or subordinate as the specific type. See Figure 12-6. A root CA issues its own certificate, and a subordinate gets its certificate from another CA higher up in the PKI structure. If you select the root CA type, you must generate a new certificate. You can select 3 settings for generating certificates: the cryptographic service provider, CSP, the hashing algorithm, and the key length. In Figure 12-7, the default CSP is RSA hash Microsoft software, key storage provider SHA-256 is the hashing algorithm, and the default key length is 2048 bits. Of the CSPs available in Windows Server 2019, many allow weak hashing algorithms such as SHA-1, MD2, MD4, and MD5. The RSA hash Microsoft CSP does allow a digest length up to SHA-512, however. No matter which CA a company chooses, you should be aware of the type of algorithm used so that you know whether the company is vulnerable to attack if information about the algorithm is compromised. Certificates at risk of being compromised can create a major security flaw for a company and shouldn't be overlooked when conducting a security test. Investigate what attackers can do with the results of an MD5 collision. Collisions for hashing algorithms have historically been a theoretical threat, though recent increases in computing power have made collisions a reality. In 2017, academics from France and Singapore demonstrated a successful SHA-1 collision attack. Collisions in MD5 have been demonstrated for more than a decade. Until recently, even some well-known CAs used MD5 to generate web server SSL certificates. In this activity, you research what's possible when smart researchers decide to call attention to a major security problem on the internet. Start your web browser in Windows and go to www.google.com. Type creating a rogue CA certificate and press enter. Click the first link in the search results, which should take you to the Rogue CA research page at the freedom.org website. If not, go to www.freedom.org and search for Rogue CA. Read the paragraph summarizing the researchers' findings, and then click the slides from the 25C3 presentation link to download the PowerPoint presentation, which you use to answer the following questions. Note: you may have to click through a security warning depending on the browser you are using. The researchers collected 30,000 website certificates in 2008. How many were signed with MD5? What kind of hardware was used to generate the chosen prefix collision? How much money did the researchers spend on certificates? What was the impact of generating a rogue CA certificate? What would this certificate allow someone with malicious intentions to do? Which hashing algorithm were CAs forced to use after their signing method was demonstrated as not secure? According to the researchers, what's the only way you can effect change and secure the internet? If you find this video useful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. To see more videos like this, please click in the rectangle in the middle of your screen. To see other videos from this channel, please click the circle on the bottom right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.